Guys from Your Black World and the Black Business School. Hey, what's going on? Big Bird and W. Canty and everybody else. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to invite the family into this conversation because I do actually believe this is a very important conversation. I think this is one that we can learn, where we can learn something about ourselves. We can learn something about how we can move forward better as a community. I don't claim to be correct on everything that I say. I don't claim to be an expert on all things black and breathing. But I do want to share some information with you that I think you guys might want to hear, so you can better understand what might be happening around you. So give me 1 second here. Let me send a little text. If you want to get a text notification when we go live, just text the word Boyce to 31996. Text Boyce to 31996. So give me 1 second here. All right, so here's what I just kind of want to break down, and I want to break this down very carefully to make sure I'm 100% crystal clear on what my position is and what my concerns are. I'm really big on Black people collaborating, working together, growing together, and I really kind of have some concerns that I'm sort of seeing, particularly when I'm seeing people that I could be, that we could be working together as a group, but we're not. We are just sort of in this weird space of everybody sort of competing to be the HNIC. And this is not, I'm not gonna mention any names if I can. I'm gonna avoid mentioning names because I don't want anybody to think this is about them, because it ain't about them. It's not about any one person. It's really about us as Black people. And it's about us sort of, or me really talking to you as people in the community who really want better for the community. I personally am a believer of this. I talk to a lot of you. I've been to, over 100 cities or something around the world, meeting with a lot of you. And I believe that you guys want, I see where you guys will tell me, people walk up and say, oh, I love you. I love this person. I love that person and that person. And some of the people they mention might be people that don't necessarily love me, or maybe I don't really want to work with them. But one thing I do believe is that people want is they want unity. They want unity. And so let's start the conversation there. If you want unity, type the word unity in the chat. Type the word unity in the chat. If you don't want unity, then I kind of need you to get the fuck out because grown folks are talking. If you don't want unity, then you need to take your ass home and go fight with your mama or your cousin them or whatever the Black person you're seeking to destroy today. Go do that shit on your own time, because that ain't what we all about. If you want unity, type unity in the chat. If you don't want unity, then take your weak ass home. Seriously, like, we ain't got time for that. If my moderators see you up in the chat acting like a Negroidian, bringing that negativity into the chat, I promise you, Jamal Brewer's in here, my boy from Black Knowledge. Jamal, Andrew, I give you full license. I deputize all of y'all to literally escort them out the door. Seriously, because I'm getting tired of this shit, man. I'm getting tired of us fighting like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not even dissing anybody, because that's the thing. When you say stop fighting, next thing you know, you try to be the referee, and next thing you know, somebody swings and hits the referee, right? And it is what it is. I can take a punch, and I'm okay. I'm willing to take a punch to make this point, because this point is very important to make, and I'm going to make it for you in a way where I hope you will hear what I'm saying. I hope you will at least hear what I'm saying, whether you agree or disagree. Because I've gone out to places, I've been confronted. I was confronted by ADOS, a person that mentioned ADOS, and in South Central. When I was in South Central, his brother, I kind of knew who he was. I saw him. He looked real aggressive. That's what happens when people want to confront you. They get in a real aggressive disposition, like they're really dying to ask a question, like they really want to, some shit to go down. And I was like, okay, well, let's do it. Let's make it happen, bro. What you got? And the thing is, that doesn't bother me, because I know I'm armored with the truth. I try to also armor myself with humility, meaning that I don't really care. My brother who came in, and I love the Nation of Islam on this. I think the Nation of Islam, I think some leadership there could help regulate some of this a little bit as well. And I love that my brother that came on the channel, say his name, please. Nuri Muhammad talked about resolving disputes. And one thing that he said that's really important, I want you guys to write this down and remember this. He said it's more important to find out what is right than to find out who is right. Because sometimes you might win the battle, but you lose the war. And I'm gonna tell you this, I'm not a big fan of attacking other Black people in the conscious community, because it ain't that many of us out there anyway. like we're already a niche on top of a niche on top of a niche. So the last thing you need when you got a niche on top of a niche on top of a niche is when you got somebody in there acting like a bitch that wants to go in and divide the niche into more pieces. You already done took the pie, cut it into 25 slices, and you got one little sliver left, and you got somebody trying to chop up the sliver, man. You're gonna be chopped up into smithereens, bro. You can't win. You can't win when you have people that could have been your friend, but now they become your enemy. You don't win that way. You don't win with your families. You're not going to win with your community. You won't win the battle against white supremacy. In fact, you end up looking crazy. Now, let me add a little extra element to this. Do me a favor, please, guys, hit that thumbs up button real quick. Please hit the thumbs up button and the notification bell. If you haven't done that yet, please do that right now. That would really help us on this platform so we can reach more people, because I really want to reach more people with this discussion. I'm going to tell you guys about a conversation. Hey, babe, I'll be ready in a minute. I want to talk to you guys about a conversation I had with Anthony Browder. Does anybody know? Give me a yes or no if you know Anthony Browder. If you don't know Anthony Browder, he's been on my channel. He is one of the most respected, most intelligent historians in the history of this world. Anthony Browder is a bad, bad boy and a brilliant brother. I was on a flight. Sometimes God steps in and does things where you're like, okay, this didn't happen by no coincidence. Because I was real nervous. Check this out. This is a true story. I'm getting on a flight at 5 a.m. in Guyana. Now, if you haven't been to Guyana, Guyana's in South America, not Ghana. I'm going to Ghana next month. But Guyana, if you haven't been there, you'll know it's a third world country. They got a long way to go in terms of development. Like the airport doesn't even have hotels near the airport. I tried to find a hotel near the airport. There was no hotel. There are no restaurants around. None of that, right? And so so it's pretty remote type situation. I'm getting on a 5 a.m. flight in Guyana, and as I'm getting on my flight, I bump into Nuri Muhammad, and I'm like, whoa, wow, that's a coincidence, right? So I see Nuri Muhammad, like, hey, brother, how you been? Hadn't seen him in a while, but his energy's so great. Even though me and Nuri probably had one conversation before that, maybe two, we knew of each other, and there was a mutual respect, and I was so happy to see this brother. So I get on the flight, and I'm sitting in, like, let's say row 16. Nuri's sitting across in row 15, right? And I'm like, that's interesting. Well, look at that. We're on the same. And then I'm starting to kind of get a little bit nervous. Like, I wonder why, if it's a coincidence that we're on the same plane, did somebody set this up? Are they going to blow up the plane? And then I'm getting off the plane, and I'm ashamed to say that I did not recognize Anthony Browder when he spoke to me. He said, hey, Dr. Watkins, and I was like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. I thought it was somebody who'd seen me or read a book or something. And he said, Tony Browder. I said, oh, wait. And I was like, oh, hey, brother, what's going on? And so Tony Browder was sitting across from me. And I didn't know. So I'm sitting here, Tony's sitting here, and Nuri Muhammad sitting there. I'm sitting there really concerned, like, how did this happen? Did somebody set this up? What's going on right now? And but me and Tony Browder had a great opportunity to speak, and I hope that he does not mind me sharing the gist of the discussion. And this is why I'm sharing this with you guys. I'm giving you guys game on how sinister the government can be when Black people start to really get some momentum behind their movement. He said that back in the 70s and 80s, he said we were really making progress. He said we were really getting some things done. And during that time, agent provocateurs were dropped into the middle of our movement. Agent provocateurs were put right in the middle of everything. And their job was basic. Their job was not to get people to turn against us. The job was just to create confusion. The job was just to start fights, create chaos, get things out of control, just kind of make us look stupid. And he said, and at that time, he said, I regret that we fell for it. He said, we fell for that. And he said, in hindsight, I really believe that some of that is happening right now. And I hope Anthony does not get mad at me for sharing that part of the conversation. I'm not going to tell you anything else. We talked 2 hours, and I love that brother. I'd do anything for him, right? And And he's very wise. I just sat there and I listened. I was just soaking it all up, talking to him. And so basically, if you look at what's happening in the community now, one of the things that you are seeing is you're seeing a lot of confusion. You're seeing a lot of chaos. You're seeing a lot of unnecessary fights, unnecessary arguing. Now, I'm not here to say any names. Y'all can fill in the blanks. Any names that you want to put in there, you can feel free to feel how you want to feel about whatever. Even about me, you can feel whatever you want to feel about me. Just don't be getting all crazy and personal, or you will be kicked out of this chat. But I really want to encourage those of you who are watching the reparations conversations, who are watching the ADOS discussions, to really choose within yourself what your position is going to be without getting over leveraged into this idea that one person is supposedly your leader. Because I'm gonna tell you, if I'm in your position, I don't trust any of the elevated Negroes that are on the internet. Like, seriously, I'm not saying you should hate them or get mad at them or undermine them. I'm just saying you need to trust yourself, man. And if including me, don't trust me. It's okay. I'm okay with that. Trust yourself, right? I would encourage you at the very least, when you see, grown ass people, 30, 40, 50 years old, fighting on the internet, don't feel like you got to pick a side. I think that's the first thing. You do not have to pick a side. I encourage you also to only go so far into getting into the drama. I believe that if the people that are going back and forth realize that the community is not happy with the drama, I believe that some of the drama will stop, because a lot of the stuff that's going on back and forth is people trying to jockey for support. Like, hey, well, let me tell you why this person is a piece of shit. Right now, again, I'm not even in the position to really say that people are wrong. Sometimes maybe somebody is a piece of shit, but I just really believe that this ain't no accident, man. This is not an accident. Because I'll sit there and I watch. I'm a mathematician, so I'm. My brain is very I think structured and strategic, and where I'm looking at 2 + 2 = 4 and stuff like that. And I'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is this person fighting with that person? I know all these motherfuckers that are fighting. I know them all. I know them all very well, and I've known them all for years. I've been in this game for many years. Y'all see me every single day, every single day, every morning doing my show like clockwork. So I've been in this game. I've interacted with all of them on a very deep level, to the point where I can see all the common ground they have. And I'm like, why would these people be what? Huh? Like, I don't understand it. And I think at the very least, we're definitely off code as a community, but I think also, I just don't think it's a coincidence, man. I'm just kind of like, what's really happening? I think that there's a deliberate effort to create chaos and confusion, particularly in the reparations movement. And I think that what that's doing is that's allowing the elite Negroes, the ones in Congress, and allowing Congress itself to say, see, black people, they don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. They all over the place. I heard people say that about the Obama presidency. They said, well, the reason black people didn't get anything is because they did not have a clear ask. Black people did not have any, a clear agenda. And I'm like, no, we had a very clear agenda. I wrote the agenda out. Dr. Claude Anderson on powernomics.com or the harvestinstitute.org. If you go right there, he's had a black agenda listed for about 25 years. Like, there was no confusion about an agenda. Like, what do you mean there wasn't? Oh, I get it. You create chaos and confusion, and then you say, well, we didn't get them anything because we were confused. They were just all over these Negroes. I mean, my God, black people can't speak English and they're just out of control, and it's just ridiculous, right? And it reminds me of like how Malcolm X used to say, how the white man will sell you the liquor bottle and then lock you up for being drunk. They will implant chaos and confusion into your debates and then dismiss you because there's chaos and confusion. They will put roaches in your house and then say, well, the reason we can't come to your house is because there's roaches in it. So what I'm trying to say to y'all is, I need y'all to be, we need some exterminators up in this motherfucker. Seriously. Like, I'm not saying exterminate people for their ideology. I would say exterminating people because they're not handling things in the most productive way possible. And by exterminate, I mean saying, look, I'm not going to participate. I'm gonna tell you, y'all can tell me this right now. You guys literally, you guys have a full license right now to tell me Boyce, if we see you fighting with somebody on this channel, we will not support your channel anymore. If we see you spending more than 30 seconds, confronting or fighting somebody that's in alignment with you, somebody else in the conscious community, we're not going to support your channel anymore. We will unsubscribe. And I would deserve that, because at that point, unfortunately, if you're not careful, it can appear that it's more about you, meaning me. It's more about me than it is about us, right? So ultimately, I'll say this. Let me be more specific about one thing that I thought was just kind of weird. I see this whole competition about the whole ADOS conference thing, Foundational Black Americans versus ADOS. Everybody's having conferences, right? Yvette and Tone have a conference. Tariq has a conference. I would support Tariq's conference. I would not feel comfortable going to Yvette and Tone's conference, not because I am ADOS. I'm a full card carrying member of ADOS, because ADOS is not a group. ADOS is a distinction. It is a designation. My great grandfather's name was Boyce, and he got that name from his slave master. So I can trace my shit right back to slavery. So I am part of ADOS. But one thing I'm not a part of is I'm not a part of the trolling. I'm not a part of attacking other conscious Black people who want to support reparations. I'm not a part of that. I'm not a part of the idea that we should somehow disconnect from the diaspora and I mean completely pull the plug on who we are. My God, goddamn Black people, shit, you got 30,000 years of history that you had in Africa before white people got a hold of your ass, and you want to cut all that off? Are you serious? That's like I'm going to cut off my entire body from the neck down and then act like I'm still 6 feet tall. Or not that I ever was 6 feet tall, but seriously, if you cut your body off from the neck down, you're not going to be tall anymore. You won't even be as tall as a midget. You won't even come up to somebody's kneecaps if you cut your body off from the neck down. And when you cut off everything African about your lineage, then you have nothing left. All you have is white supremacy and that slave DNA that's in your blood. John Heinrich Clark broke it down when he said that if you start your history from slavery, then everything since then looks like progress. So what I'm just trying to tell you right now, that I am ADOS. In fact, when the brother from South Central confronted me, and I think he confronted me because he had misinformation. He had a perception based on what somebody else said about what kind of person I am or whatever. And I listened to him. And first thing he said, well, I support the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and ADOS. And that's when I knew right there. I said, okay, now we got our common ground, because if you love Farrakhan, I love Farrakhan. I can't say there's certain Black leaders in that movement like Farrakhan. I've seen them attack Farrakhan. I'm like, why do you have to attack Farrakhan to make your point? You might not agree with Farrakhan. You might not like what Farrakhan has done. You might have issues with him, and I'm okay with that. But when you're trying to go to the point where you're using the 4 Ds against a beloved member of the community, the 4 Ds, Byron Allen mentioned that: dismiss, discredit, demonize, and destroy. When you're using the 4 Ds against people in the community that have had skin in the game since the 1940s, how do we benefit as a community? Now, who attacked him? You can go look it up. It was Yvette Carnell, but I'm not going to go in. I'm not really trying to talk all day about Yvette, because this ain't about Yvette. I know all about Yvette. I worked with her for many years. I have messages where she was asking me to share her articles and stuff like that. So I play some part in supporting whatever she's doing now, and I don't regret that. I just wish it had been differently. But I know about the conference. The ADOS conference is held at St. Stephen's Church, which is in Louisville, Kentucky. We're hosted by Pastor Kevin Cosby. Pastor Cosby has been my friend for 10 years. I introduced him to Yvette. So the church where the ADOS convention was held this year, and I think they're holding again there next year, is a church where I gladly introduced the pastor to Yvette Carnell. This is a fact. This is not something that's made. I'm from the Ville. You guys know I'm from Louisville. It is what it is. My point is to say that even with that, the reason you don't hear me talk much about it is because I don't really see the benefit of me sitting around complaining about another Black person where I think there could be common ground. I just really don't understand that. When you look at another person, you can either find the things that you disagree with on them, or areas you don't like, or you can find the things you do like. Even when I think about the woman I'm going to marry, I love Alicia. There are things about her that I love and things about her that I just don't want to talk about, right? And if I sit around all day focusing on the things about her that I don't like, is that marriage going to last? Is that relationship going to last very long? Yes or no? Will that relationship last if every single day I'm reminding myself and reminding the world of all the things that she does that get on my nerves? I can have the same conversation about my brother. I could list all the things about him that I don't like and make it sound like we are mortal enemies. My mother, I could do that. I could list all the things I can't stand about my mama that would make you think that I don't like my mama, right? But I don't. What I do is I choose to look at the light. I look at the common ground. I look at where we can work together. So the key word, please type this word in the chat if you're still with me on this. The key word for today is unity. Unity, unity, unity. Please type unity in the chat. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. There's room for unity, right? I don't care how much some Negro done got on your nerves. There is room for unity. You know, I don't give a shit if they talked about your cousin or your grandmama last month. There's still room for unity. We must seek unity, and that's the only way we can fight against all this chaos, because it's just not necessary. Let me give you an example, a real life example of how you can still find common ground. You guys know every year we have the All Black National Convention. You guys know that we've been doing that since 2016. One person we invited to the first convention was Sharif Abdul Malik from We Buy Black. And Sharif was going to do a conference of his own, the We Buy Black convention. First thing Sharif did was Sharif got on the phone with me and he called and said, "Hey, brother, we're going to do a convention called We Buy Black." Now, I don't know why he called. Maybe he called me because he just wanted to invite me. I don't know. I can't speak for him. But I also suspect that he called me because he wanted to make sure we were still cool, that I didn't walk away feeling like, like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, you're not gonna come to my convention because you got your own now, right? Like, I think that, he wanted to make sure that wasn't the case. And of course that wasn't the case, because I love Sharif Abdul Malik. But it's sort of like, these are the basic things you can do to handle differences and disagreements. It's just get on the phone and say, hey, let's talk it out. Let's talk about it, right? So here's another thing I will say is, I think the basic, one of the basic rules we can follow in terms of being on code is with this reparations conversation, which is one of the most important conversations in the history of this country. If you're going to troll people, people like to troll, they like to fight, they like to discredit and attack and demonize other people. That's fine. That happens, right? It's politics. I think the rule should be that you should not troll and discredit people who agree with you on reparations, right? So if I believe that reparations are good and I want them to happen, I want cash, and you tell me that you believe in reparations but you want scholarships, then I should not demonize you. I should look for the common ground and say, okay, so and so says they want scholarships. I don't agree with that. I want cash, but maybe we can get cash and scholarships. Look for the both and instead of the either or, right? So I think the idea of conscious people trolling other conscious people is just so bad for strategy, and we're simply not going to win this way. The other point I would say is, if you want to learn from this, learn how to resolve your differences, in the background on the phone. If somebody says something that is, I'll give you an example. I've had friends. I'm not going to say any particular names because I don't want it to sound weird, but I've had friends that I've partnered with who said stuff where somebody's like, "Oh yeah, he dissed you, Boyce." I'll be like, "What?" He said, "What?" Right? And you know what I do? I don't go make a video. I call that person and I text them. I say, "What did you mean?" And usually 9 times out of 10, they're like, "Oh no, here's what I was saying." Right? And then even if that doesn't happen, there's still the ability to kind of just not take it personal and say, okay, all right, well, whatever. It ain't about me anyway, right? The other point I think we should remember is that the ADOS movement, and I think Yvette and Tone even said this, and Yvette and Tone still have videos on my YouTube channel, so I helped them out a lot in the beginning. I didn't create everything that they've done, but I helped them a lot. A lot of people that know them now learned about them on my channel because we were open. We wanted to share our channel with Black people who had good ideas. So, and you can go find those videos. Those videos are still there. We leave them up deliberately so that people don't think that we're making these things up. There's dozens of videos that Tone has done. Tone interviewed Byron Allen on my channel about 3 or 4 years ago. So you can't say I didn't support, that I haven't supported these things. In fact, every single person, if you look at some of the more interesting players in this game, Yvette Carnell, Tone, Michi X, and Tariq, I have done business and put money into the pockets or some sort of support into the pockets of every single one of those people. Every one of them, I can say without question that I have done something to help them. Every single one. It does not mean that they owe me anything. It does not mean that I'm the shit. It does not mean that they are beneath me. It does not mean that, you know, I'm somebody's daddy. What it does mean is that what I'm doing is I'm laying that out there to let you know, to give credibility to what I'm trying to say, that this has to be about us, and it can't be about, you know, me building what I got and then feeling like in order for me to build what I got to destroy what you got. In order for me to have something great, I gotta go and talk shit about what you got going on. Like, I don't think you have to do that. And here's the other thing too. These are all people that I just know them all extremely well, and I'm just sitting here thinking, why aren't y'all sitting at a table together and hashing out your differences? You know, white people do this. Smart white people do that. You know, Bill Gates really hated Steve Jobs, but you saw them doing conferences and conventions together because they realized that if Apple was attacking Microsoft incessantly, they would spend more energy attacking each other than actually becoming the greatest companies in the world. All kinds of rivalries. You can point to examples where the people eventually sat together and said, you know, we don't agree. I still don't like your ass, but you know, that's petty because we all trying to win here, and I'm not trying to go too crazy. I'm not going to hit my nuclear button, because if I drop my nukes on you, then you're going to launch your nukes on me, and we're going to both be destroyed. I watched a great movie called The Current Wars, and it was about the rivalry between Thomas Edison, who invented, allegedly, right? We know black people were in the room when all these inventions happened, but according to this film, Thomas Edison played a big part in the invention of the light bulb, the phonograph, which record player basically, and moving pictures, like the creation of the entire movie industry, right? Westinghouse also understood electricity extremely well. They were battling to see who was going to dominate this new industry. Edison created General Electric, right? So that company's still there. I own a lot of shares of stock in General Electric. And it's done really well, by the way. I think, and I really believe it's going to continue. So if you're looking for good stocks to buy, I'm not going to tell you what to buy. I'll just tell you I'm buying General Electric because I believe the company has a good future. But anyway, besides that, you know, there was a point where these two guys who hated each other's guts, who had done each other dirty, you know, got together and they were just talking. And it was just, and now again, this is a movie, this is a film portrayal, so maybe it was different in real life, but it wasn't no, you know, it wasn't no like chaotic shit. It wasn't no like, motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck you up. No, nigga, no, get your ass, sit your ass back, punk ass motherfucker. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It was this very subtle, like, you know what? I don't like you, you don't like me, and I might make a little snotty ass remark every now and then, but for the most part, I have a respect for you because you built something big and I built something big and you're my competitor. And so we're still going to just talk like adults. You know, we don't have to fight and argue and yell and scream and act a damn fool because we're not children. We can sit and we can just say, you know, I don't like you. I ain't really cool with you, but what you got for me? You trying to make a deal? You want to make a business deal? Let's make a deal. If it's a win-win, I'll partner with an enemy on a win-win, as long as I know that you're going to follow through and do what you say. Right. So ultimately, I think that, you know, that there is room to have respect for people that you consider to be your enemies. I do believe that there's room for that. I'm not saying you should trust them. I just will say to you, though, at the end of the day, if you go back to Denzel Washington's quote in the movie Crimson Tide, there's a point where he says that the enemy in a battle, the enemy is not the other person. In a battle, the enemy of war is war itself. The enemy in war is war itself. So when you go to war, usually there is no winner. There's only the biggest loser. That's all you have. There is no winner in a war. There's only the biggest loser. So when I see these smart people, all these people, very smart people, very capable people. I mean, if they weren't capable and smart, they wouldn't have built the things that they built, right? And they're just, you know, you see these missiles just being, I'm sitting there watching missiles just launching across the sky like, damn, by the time this is done, everything's going to be destroyed. And so my appeal is not to them, honestly. My appeal is, I don't know how any of these individuals are going to feel. There's a lot of egos in this game. A lot of people have, you know, vested interest in seeing their thing win over somebody else's. I'm appealing to the people. I'm appealing to the community. I'm appealing to the Negroes who got some sense. You know, I'm appealing to people who want unity. So if you want unity, please type unity in the chat. And I'm not asking to be your leader in any of this. I don't need to be any of that. I'm an advisor, right? I'm not stupid. I have ideas. I can see things, right? And I'm sharing ideas and sharing knowledge. But type unity in the chat if you get what I'm saying, because all I want is unity, man. I really want black people to win. I want reparations to be passed. I want us to build our own. I want us educating our own children. I want us creating our own jobs. I want us supporting each other's businesses. I want us loving each other. I want us building stronger families. I want us loving the black woman. I want the black woman loving the black man. I want us raising strong babies. I want our community to be great. And I don't see that happening when we get into these buck dance chicken fights. I'm just not a fan of any of that. So if you want to know my position, that's my position. That's my one statement on this topic. Just so you know, I will not make any further statements on this. It does not matter if somebody sees the video. I'm sure people are going to watch it because when I talk, there are people that listen. And if people want to make a video and they want to troll, they want to go crazy and act a fool, just know I'm not responding to any of that because grown folks got shit to do. And so if you are grown and you want to move forward, then please keep coming back. If you're not, if you're into the petty shit, if you're into the niggatry, if you're into the slave talk, if you're into the same chaos that kept us enslaved for so many years, then go over there and be part of the negativity because we over here trying to build. Because you can't build if you're trying to destroy. Destruction and building are two different energies, and I want the building energy, which means that I can sit down with a son of a bitch who called me all kinds of names except for a child of God, and if they are deeply committed to finding common ground, then I will sit there and I will listen to you and say, okay, let's put it behind us. Let's figure out how we can move forward, because that's what you're supposed to do if you want to win a battle. That's what Powernomics is all about. That's what power is all about. That's what unity is all about. So get over yourself and grow the fuck up. You guys have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you. Peace.